everybody, welcome to the Tiny Witch's Cottage speed build. And as you can see, I accidentally killed one of my test sims. So I had 2 sims on the lot, and I was just trying to play test the inside because I end up using platforms and stuff and I don't use them often. So I was like, okay, I need to make sure that it works. Every time I try to adjust weather in the game, I always, for some reason, set it to super hot just because I think it's, like, the easiest one that my, like, finger clicks for some reason. So, I don't know. I don't know what happened, but the house comes with a tombstone underneath the tree. It looks cute. That's all that matters, I guess. But, yeah, I found inspiration for this build on Google. I just looked up tiny witch cottages, and it was one of the first ones that came up. I looked for the one that looked the smallest. So this one, it was like the most interesting to me because you have the things at the top. I guess like the column roof, which I've done before in the past. But I never did like a little tiny tower one. I think that's a good way to build height in a build without having to do walls. Because then that saves me time on having to paint more walls, which again is my least favorite part of building, is picking out the wall colors for everything. But this one was very easy. It's very simple. It's just like a rectangle with some pieces off of the rectangle, and that's really it. I adjust the camera lighting so much when I was building this, because, like, the lighting in some lots are really strange, and so I need to make sure that the colors look good, even though most of my pictures I take in, like, early morning. But this one, I was like, okay, I need to be able to see what the roof looks like, I need to see what all the colors look like, so I had to change it a bunch. But the build is, I think, it's not a micro home, it is a tiny home. I think it's like 40-something tiles, which is in between both of them. But I wasn't really trying to make it a micro home. I had realized after I built it that I could set it as that, so that's what I ended up doing. But yeah, it was pretty easy to pick out windows for this because the build is so tiny. I got really burnt out from large builds, so if you've seen my other videos, they're like fairly decent sized builds. They're at least 2 bedrooms each with huge landscaping and stuff, and so I was like, I need to just do something small. And I wanted to like test out my OBS settings anyway, so I was like, tiny cottage, perfect. It'll get me back into like building without burning myself out. So I have a whole bunch of cottage inspiration pictures that I'm going to slowly make my way through. So I have this one, and then I had like 3 colorful cottages next to each other that I'm working on, which might be, I don't know, it's kind of ambitious. I don't know, like, I said I want to do small builds, and then I do 3 cottages on one lot. I don't know, but that doesn't matter anyway. This one is very, very tiny. It doesn't even fit a double bed, so it really is only used for 1 sim, and that's it. Here, I was trying to place this log, and I forgot that if you just place it on the roof piece, you don't have to raise it up, and it won't turn like a weird shadowy color. So I didn't realize that until after. So I do a lot for this one little thing to look good on the roof, and then you'll see I put that up there. I'm like, oh. I'm like, can I do that with the, like, log now? I was like, how did I not realize this? And I feel like I build a lot that, like, I don't know, something happened. Maybe it's just the placement of it on the diagonal seemed weird, and so it was hard to do. But I did place another log on it, so it wasn't wasted completely. I didn't do too much landscaping on the actual lot. The lot's pretty tiny, but I just placed plants on the roof. It's my go-to. I just think it looks cute. I do end up putting some more stuff on the roof that, like, is a little bit different from what I usually do. I had, like, an arch up there, and I'm getting distracted because I'm wearing a face mask. And it, like, started to, like, dry, so I was like, it felt weird on my skin as I was talking, but I guess it wasn't the best timing. because I'm gonna have to pause my voiceover in like a few minutes. So, but I found that little tractor, the rusty tractor in debug. I never really use a lot of the farm items, so I turned this one into a little farm. I think I put like one of the little cow barns into, and I like shove it off the lot, and it takes me forever to do because I'm like, you can't interact with it when it's off the lot, so I couldn't change the swatch, so I had to keep undoing it a million times. I probably edited it out, so, but yeah, I changed the path up, and I start putting these little white flower grass paint around, which I don't use because it like I like never use because the greens don't usually match up. But I like, when I was putting it around the dirt there, I was imagining the Animal Crossing path. Like the one that you like get the code for, and it just looks perfect on everyone's islands. Yeah, that's what I was imagining in that, and I was like, I just made the path in The Sims. Yeah, don't know, like, I grabbed that sign, and I was just like, this is different, because I wanted to try, like, different things in my builds, which I feel like that's maybe a strange different, I don't know if it works completely, but I leave it because I'm like, I'm committing to this. I add some more like ivy on it to try and blend it in more. I don't know why there would just be wooden signs up there, but I don't know, they're also lopsided, which I do like, so it doesn't really matter at that point. It ends up looking cute when I put the like one of the wedding arches onto the roof. So yeah, there it is. I think I tried to figure out where to put that for most of the time, and then I'm like, oh, let me shove it up here on the roof. And luckily, when I decorate, none of that stuff is visible, because it's all, like, technically in the attic floor, so it goes away when you go into the lower floors. Which, like, sometimes when I put plants, it messes up, and you could kind of see it. But this time, if I remember correctly, it wasn't a problem at all for me. So I get the broken fences, which I love. I'd put them in every build if I could. I probably do, so I don't know why I'm saying that. I never commented on the slime puddle I put on the floor by the fountain. Those are my favorite things. When I did the 100 baby challenge on stream like a year ago, I had like a million of those slime puddles on the floor, because for some reason I thought it was a good idea to do 100 baby challenges, but in the haunted residential lot, so I had a million slime puddles around, which I didn't realize too would mean that there'd be more ghost activity. So I had to mop them all up, but I'm bringing them back to my builds now, so I put like 2 of them in there. I've been focusing on like making sure the sides are decorated in my builds. I put like that to make it seem like it's a little basement that you could go into, which I thought was kind of cool. I only keep one of like the little tiny ones there. A bunch of dirt mounds on the floor. Can't forget dirt mounds. I don't know when I put the cauldron, but I go a little overboard with the cauldron too. I don't know what I was thinking when I was doing it. But yeah, I guess, yeah, here it is. I think I just placed the cauldron for now, so it doesn't stay that way. And surprisingly, all the stuff I add around the cauldron and like inside the cauldron, it's still usable, as like you could see in the beginning video of the witch, kind of like, she's not even a witch. The sim stirring the mac and cheese pot, it all worked. So, and it looked kind of cool because there's the glowing effect. Okay, so I need to pause for a second. Why am I acting like it's a surprise when I'm referencing the opening video of this video? So you know exactly what the cauldron looks like. I personally forgot. This time I made the video before I did the voiceover though. So usually I do the voiceover and then I'll go back and then like record the little intro of the build. But this time it was the opposite way around, so you know, it all worked out. But I like how the fountain looks in there. I just don't like the second layer of water, which, like, my way of doing that was to try and cover it up with a chicken. But the chicken really doesn't cover it up, but I just liked it anyway. I felt like he belonged there. But Yeah, I ended up putting the little herbs around the cauldron, and that light is what I think looks really cool when you're mixing the mac and cheese in the cauldron because it looks like a potion, but I never make spellcaster sims to actually do the potions, so I'm gonna do that. After I do this voiceover, I might make some new sims and have them ready because I keep using the same ones that I just have because I don't use Create a Sim very often, so I always just use the same few sims to test my builds all the time. And like last video I had my J-Hope and Jimin sims and I felt like I couldn't have them in this witchy cottage. I felt like it was too much, so I just like grabbed one of my other sims that I've used before. But now I'm doing the inside of the build, and I really wanted to like know where the bed was gonna go. And normally I try and do double beds, but this time I didn't even bother. I was just like, okay, just do a single bed. And I liked that one because it has the canopy, I guess you could call it. That's probably what it's called, I don't know. But yeah, I liked it raised up like that. I spent a little time trying to figure out the right like platform, like what is that, not terrain the foundation paint, I guess. I don't know what you would call it. It took me a while because I don't like how the ladder is kind of poking into the wood on it. I just kind of gave up and accepted that that's what it was gonna look like. But I put the little curtains around the bed and stuff. Oh, I changed the bed. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, because I was like, now that looks like it's a little canopy. So I think that's why I changed it, because I was like, okay, I have these curtains now, so it looks pretty good. I was just double checking if I wanted to use something different, but of course I don't, because that's my favorite curtain in the game. I end up making a study area right to the left of it, which I think is perfect for this tiny space. So it's like you walk right into the door, and like, I was like, I can't have a kitchen there because the bed's right there. So what am I going to put here? And so like, I've been using dining room tables as desks just because I'm tired of the desks in the game. But I haven't used the desks in the game in a while, so I could probably go back to it. It'll be fine. But I never used that table. It's like a cats and dogs table. This is, I think, my first time ever using it. It's really good. I use it again in another build, so I'm slowly getting back into streaming on Twitch. So I built another little cottage build on stream, and I used that exact desk. I didn't even hesitate. I'm like, this is the desk I'm using, because I had just used it. But I think that this turns out to be one of my favorite little study areas that I've like maybe done ever, maybe in a while, I'm not sure. It's just like a lot of stuff is packed into this little space, but it works, and it doesn't feel too cramped or anything, which I really like. And I use all my favorite items, but it feels different for some reason. I'm really not sure what it is, but I really like it. It turned out to look really nice. And it's probably the most detailed part of this build. I barely do anything else with like the kitchen, and there's not really a living room. I think I end up putting one chair in because it's a very small build. You don't really need a full living room anyway, because you have the computer there. It's a one bed, so like a rocking chair is all that you really need. And I felt like this was the build that you would have a rocking chair in. I made sure to put a dirty mug there, and the bed is still functional. I think I've made sure to remember to check later on. So I was like, is the mug gonna mess everything up? But it ends up being completely fine. But like, now that I'm looking at this build from like above, it is a decent size build, so it's not like too limited. The only thing that would make it like maybe a little bit better is if like the bedroom was extended a tile and you could have a double bed up there, and you probably could, and it would still be a tiny home because I had a lot of tiles left over. But I just liked this exact shape of the build. It was exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to make it any bigger at all. So the bathroom is very simple. There's almost nothing in it. I normally try and do showers in my builds, but This time I just did the bathtub because I figured that like the shower curtains would take away from it somehow. I don't know, but I like this little tarp. I've never used it in the yellow swatch, but I really like it. It looks a little bit weird from the outside though, because that's technically an open window and there's no glass. So you just see the tarp, which it's fine. Maybe I should have put the tarp on the other side too, so it looked like it was like perfectly blended in. And I put cabinets in the bathroom. I don't think I ever think to put cabinets in the bathrooms, but it helped me in saving time on not having to clutter shelves, which I got the bathroom clutter kit and I still need to use it, but I was like looking through the items and I don't know if it really matches my building style. So I'm gonna have to try and do a build and like see how well those items can fit into it, because every time I like try to use it I give up like 2 seconds in. But the kitchen is just all you need in a kitchen. I don't know if I put a sink in here. I'm not really sure. I feel like, yeah, okay. I was watching to see if I put the sink in. That would be a great place to do dishes, just looking out that open window. If it rained, it would just, all the wood damaged, I guess. I don't know, but I like the little mini cauldron that I put on the shelf. I think it's cute. And the witch brooms in the Realm of Magic debug menu are the best brooms in the game. And I can't believe I've gone so long without using them in all of my builds. I think I only just started doing that like the last few months. Because I don't normally go through the debug menu in the interiors because I get burnt out from doing the exterior. So then I just want to like clutter the house without having to scroll through a million items. But I've been purposely looking for it, like just searching for it every time I build. So yeah, I just pretty much add a column there to just add some sort of like barrier in it, because it felt a little like too open and I don't really like it that much. But that's pretty much the entire build. I put lights, I'm not really sure, but yeah. That's it. That's the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.